Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of The Lines Then. I'm your host, Sam De La Torres, and I will be going over what happened at Fastlane, and I'll give you guys my rating for the matches and the pay-per-view itself. I'm not going to really go into detail of the matches, just because I feel like you guys already watched it, and if you're watching this video, it's just because you want to know my opinions on it. Of course, however, I will mention some key moments in the matches that I find of importance. So on the pre-show, we have the United States Champion Riddle defending his title against Mustafa Ali. Riddle would end up retaining the title, however, Retribution would turn on Mustafa Ali in a, I was going to say surprising manner, but I think we were all somewhat seeing it. Just because Mustafa Ali had been really cruel to them lately, and I mean, I was hoping, but like in my mind, I was thinking, okay, surely they can't like just be like little like lapdogs to him. They're gonna have to snap, and snap they did. I mean, they nearly snapped them into next year. So tonight on Raw, I'm kind of curious to see what's gonna happen. Will Mustafa Ali try to get them back together, or will he just give up and try somebody new? Maybe Ricochet. I don't know. Next up, we had... Oh, and before I even say that, however, I'm not going to give a rating for the match because I didn't watch it live. I was starting off by the times and everything, so I didn't give a rating. However, I would probably give it maybe 3 flip-flops out of 5. Next up, we have the women's tag team match where our champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, defended their titles against Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. While the match itself was pretty tame for both of them, I would say, the real interesting part came towards the end. So what happened was that Bianca Belair was going to stop Nia Jax from interrupting Sasha Banks, who had Shayna Baszler in the bank statement. However, instead, Bianca Belair gets pushed into Sasha Banks. She breaks the hold, and Sasha Banks is furious. She's upset at her, saying, "You should have stayed there," yada yada yada. And I believe she slaps her then and there. And this all happened as Bianca Belair is standing on the apron, behind the ropes, basically. And so Shayna Baszler, being the opportunist she is, she rolls up Sasha Banks for the win, and they retain their titles. So afterwards, Sasha Banks is furious. She calls Bianca Belair a rookie and slaps her across the face. Bianca looks stunned, like, what the heck just happened? She was probably like, So she ends up looking back at the WrestleMania sign and refocuses herself onto what truly matters, the SmackDown Women's Championship. So that's good for her, because honestly, I did not see why they would even want to be tag teams. Because sure, you need a SmackDown, you want to win the championship, but when you have the opportunity to win the Women's SmackDown, why would you try to get the tag team champs? I don't know, but good for Bianca Belair to realize what she's really here for. I would give that match... It's because it was tame to me. I wouldn't say it was that bad. It wasn't that good. I'd still have to give it 2 tail whips out of 5. Next up, it was a short segment where we see Shane McMahon had gotten injured. He had injured his knee while practicing earlier, I suppose. And then we see Elias try to talk to him because Elias wants to have this WrestleMania moment. Of course, Shane is like, leave me alone. I'm injured. But Elias insists. Anyways, we cut back to the ring where we have the next match of the Intercontinental match where our champion Big E defends his title against Apollo Crews. So this match starts off pretty fast and pretty fiery. I mean, these two have been going at it lately, and this is no exception. Now, this match in itself is going pretty well. However, what kind of struck me as was when Apollo Crews goes for a small package. Big E kind of reverses it. It kind of looks like a backslide, but not really. Anyways, he had reversed it, and then Big E ends up retaining the title. It's very confusing. But after the match, Apollo Crews is very angry, very upset, and brutalizes Big E. He ends up towering over him with his foot on his head, declaring that this is not over. So we will be seeing another rematch for WrestleMania, no doubt. While I did want Apollo Crews to win, after this match, it kind of makes me wonder, like, should he win? I mean, because up to this point, he has lost about 4 times to Big E. I want to say. So it's like, if you win, it's like, well, finally. But at the same time, it's like, just quit, man. um, but anyways, I'll give that match. I mean, it's just a shame that it was like poorly done in the end. Or I don't even know if they messed up or something, but it was just very confusing. So when they announced Big E as the winner, I was like, wait, he won? But anyways, I'd give this match 2 spears out of 5. Wasn't the best, but at the same time, it wasn't. It was the ending that ruined it for me. I can say that much. Next up, we have a short match between Braun Strowman and now Elias, who took Shane McMahon's spot, unwillingly, of course. Nothing much of interest happens here, except that Riker kind of distracts Braun Strowman on the ring. Elias tries to go for a sneaky win, but fails to. So Braun Strowman quickly comes back, power slams him for the win. This match is 1 missing ponytail out of 5. It was just not interesting to watch. I mean, this match has the shortest notes of only like 6 of 6 lines, and even then, it was kind of like not even that much of a note. But anyways, not an interesting match. Definitely a pass for me. However, a match that we had that is not a pass is Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke. Now, Seth Rollins is very vocal in this match. He says he wants respect because he's tired of being disrespected. And I agree with you, man. You've been disrespected so much. Seth Rollins comes with the win with this match in a very, very nice fashion, honestly. This match is, I would have to say 4 curb stomps out of 5. There's some areas that could have been better, but when you have Seth Rollins and Shinsuke together, it's like magic for the most times. Next up, you have another great match between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Now, Drew McIntyre comes out with war paint, and as my sister had pointed out, it kind of looked like Braveheart. Or maybe it was Braveheart. I'm not too sure. But either way, it looked pretty nice. And once again, this match started off really intense. I mean, these two have been going at it for like the last month. So, I was not expecting a hand-holding match, to be honest. They fight over the barricade. They fight on top of the screens. And hell, Sheamus gets tossed through a screen. Not as crazy when it was Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley, but still, see a little sparks there. It was an intense match. I mean, they had kendo sticks, they had everything. They went through a table, and that was pretty cool too because Sheamus was standing on top of this. I would say this like crate almost. He hit a white noise on Drew McIntyre through the table. That was pretty intense. Now, when I was watching this match, I was thinking, whoa, Sheamus is actually going to win. Maybe he's going to take his spot versus Bobby Lashley. But no, sir, no, sir. Because Drew McIntyre came back like the thunder that rolls through the hills of Scotland. He kicked up and sets him up for a Claymore, which he hits 1, 2, 3, and Drew McIntyre wins the match. And now he has his eyes set on Bobby Lashley. Now, I kind of would have thought Bobby Lashley would have made an appearance, perhaps, backstage or something. But we all know Bobby Lashley is going to make his statement tonight on Raw. So stay tuned for that. I would give this match 4 Claymores out of 5. I feel like there could have been some parts here and there that could have made it a bit better. But honestly, this is probably as good as it gets. And then we have Randy Orton versus Alexa Bliss. Now, this match was quite weird, I would say. It wasn't really a match. For the most part, they walked around the ring. And Alexa Bliss was causing shenanigans, nearly killing Randy Orton. I mean, I don't know the proper term for it, but some lighting fell from the sky and nearly crushed Randy Orton. She tries twice to, like, burn him. And then they settle back in the ring where this mutilated hand slithers his way out of the ring and grabs a hold of Randy Orton's hand. Randy Orton is, of course, freaked out and is like, what the hell is this? And after a pillar of fire shoots from the hole where that hand came from, who else came out but the Fiend? And the Fiend appeared with just looking mutilated as hell, man. I mean, he was gross looking, burnt. He kind of looked like Freddy Krueger in a way. And yes, Randy Orton was shocked, just paralyzed in fear. I would imagine in fear. So Alexa Bliss pushes him into the Fiend, who hits him with Sister Abigail. 1, 2, 3. Who is pinned by Alexa Bliss, by the way, and like she sits on his his abdomen. Nice crotch, people. His abdomen. And they win. Alexa Bliss and the Fiend once again reunited. And this is something that makes me wonder: is this going to be mentioned on Raw? Because what the hell just happened? Um, the match itself, and I could only give it a 1. I could only give it a 1 RKO out of 5, just because it's Randy Orton, man. His mannerisms, the way he walks around, he really sold it for me. For me, like Alexa Bliss, man. I know she's the catalyst for the Fiend, but I think the Fiend was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pure myself because she's making me look bad. At least that's my opinion. I feel like the Fiend was tired of waiting in the shadows and was like, you know what? I'm gonna make my statement. Randy, I'm coming to get you, man. And last but not least, we have the Universal Championship match of Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, defending his title against Daniel Bryan. Now, of course, you have Edge ringside, and he will come into play because as the match comes to its end, Daniel Bryan has Roman Reigns in the yes lock, and it looks like Roman Reigns is going to tap out. However, Jey Uso comes in and slams him with a chair. Actually, not just quite. He just goes in there and attacks him. Then he goes get the chair, comes back in, hits him with it. But Daniel Bryan is not going to let this slide because he fights back and just pummels him with the chair. And so much so, he accidentally hits Edge with it. So now Edge is like, are you serious? He's on the ground, writhing in pain. But then, out of nowhere, Roman Reigns comes in with the spear. The spear turns into the yes lock. And surprise, surprise, Roman Reigns actually taps out. But Edge does not give an F because he gets up and he slams the both of them with that same chair. And as he walks away, another ref comes in. Roman Reigns covers 1, 2, 3, and he retains. And just like that, Roman Reigns is going into WrestleMania as champ. Now, this was just an insane way to end the match. And honestly, I really liked it because now we have the question of what is going to happen with Daniel Bryan. Because surely he's not going to give up that easily, right? I have my feelings this will be a triple threat match at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. I'd give this match 4.5 spears out of 5. It was really, really good. Anyways, guys, those were my thoughts on the pay-per-view. What are yours? Let me know down below in the comments. Anyways, it has been me, Samuel, the one-man crew, and I hope I kept you entertained all the way through. Goodbye.